Lava lamps. The psychedelic disco balls of the home decor world. They're mesmerizing. They're funky. And they're a little bit trippy. But what's the deal with those blobs? Are they alive? Do they have feelings? And why do they always seem to be doing the same dance? I'm Jumpy Vertex, and in this video, we'll turn this into this. Let's get started with the basic cube. Select everything and delete them. Add a circle mesh, scale it up 3 times, and then extrude it by 4. Scale it down by 0.5. Extrude it again by 2, scale up 2. Extrude 12 times, and scale it down by 0.25. Now extrude and scale down a few more times to create the head, and hit F in the end to close the circle mesh. Remember, it doesn't need to be super smooth, unlike my moves. Now that we have our lamp shape, we'll need to add a few modifiers. Jump into object mode and start adding. Subdivision surface, increase the levels to 2. Next up, bevel, and set it to 0.15 meters. Yes, our lamp is ginormous. And finally, add a solidify modifier to give it some thickness. Now our lamp seems a bit out of shape. We'll fix it by adding a few loop cuts. Also, I'll add a face to the bottom to close it. And lastly, we'll select the glass section of the lamp and hit P to separate it. It's a lot easier this way than duplicating it and removing the unwanted bits. Now, onto the shading. Create a new material and juice up the metallic slider. Now add a Voronoi texture and a mix. Set the scale value to 3.2 and the blend mode to multiply, with 0.4 as the factor value. Now set your lamp color. I chose gray. To make the metal texture, let's add a noise shader and a bump. Link the factorial to height and normal to both roughness and normal. Now scale up the noise shader to 500, detail to 3, and roughness to 0.5. Lower the bump strength to 0.1. Let's call it something creative, like metal. Now select the glass section, create a new material and amp up the transmission slider. Set the roughness to 0 and the transmission roughness to 0.15. This adds just a tiny bit of murkiness, which makes it more realistic later on. We'll also copy and paste the Voronoi texture and mix we made earlier to this shader. Give it a subtle color and change the factor value to 0.12. We'll call this glass. Oh, and shade smooth both. Now add 2 spotlights and point 1 to the bottom and 1 to the top with 90-degree spot sizes. Make the bottom one more powerful, say 15,000 watts, and set the top one to 10,000 watts. Not very power efficient, unlike my moves. Give the lights a color you like. I'll pick red and orange. Make sure you have cycles as your render engine, otherwise things will look different. To create the gooey liquid inside, we'll use meatballs. Not these meatballs. Position them inside the lamp, duplicate and scale as you like. Remember not to keep them in a perfect shape. You can hide the glass to see the meatballs easier or use the X-ray feature. And for its material, I changed the emission color to red and the strength to 10 and alpha to 0.75. Next, go to the meatball settings and set the resolution to 0.1. This will make them look less choppy and more smooth, like my moves. Now all you have to do is light your scene, add a background, and you've got yourself a groovy lamplight. If you want to go the extra mile, you can also animate the meatballs. Do let me know if you'd be interested to see a video specifically on the animation. Now, Timmy, did you learn anything on this episode? Well, if you found this video useful, please leave a like or subscribe. Your support means a lot. Isn't that right, Timmy? Wise words. Leave a comment below if you can tell what Timmy's thinking. And if you follow this tutorial, tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what your lava lamps look like. What do we do now? And now, some elevator music.